Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's going on? ERROL the True Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia. It's going down in a few weeks, man. December 5th. I can't wait for this fight. It's the return of ERROL Spence Jr., the big fish, Mr. Man Down, Mr. Strap Season, the unified welterweight champion of the world. The return of ERROL Spence, man, his first fight back, since September of 2019, man. The big showdown with Shawn Porter, the unification match in a classic toe-to-toe showdown. Two elite welterweights going at it, man, putting it all on the line. I felt like ERROL Spence got the very best Showtime Shawn Porter in that fight, and he was able to come out on top. He scored a knockdown in the 11th round. And that right there, man, that just show you the type of mental fortitude, the type of character that ERROL Spence Jr. have about himself, to know that, look, bro, I fought Shawn Porter's fight all the way up until this point, this whole fight. You know what I'm saying? And I know this is a close fight. This is a really competitive fight. I gotta go in here and make a statement. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go in here. I gotta get a knockdown. Point blank period. I gotta get a knockdown. You know what I'm saying? To be able to go through such a grueling fight stylistically, the way they both fought that fight, it was grueling and very physically demanding and mentally demanding. For him to be able to go through that, and then in the 11th round, when it's most crucial, when you need just something to separate yourself from another champion on the other side of you, he go in there and he get a knockdown. You know what I'm saying? To have the presence of mind, look, I got to land this particular punch. You know what I'm saying? I got to put him in this particular position so I can land this shot. And he did that. And he got the win. You know what I'm saying? And became the unified champion. And, that's just a little flashback to kind of shed a little bit of light on the character of ERROL Spence, the type of mentality he has, the type of, just the championship heart that he got. He really a true champion. And, this is nothing new that we've seen out of ERROL Spence. We seen, remember when he first went up against Chris Algieri? This was before, everybody knew what people knew what ERROL Spence was, but it was still so many doubters, like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? He's stopping everybody. He looking good, but he ain't fighting nobody. You know what I'm saying? He 12-0, 13-0, you know what I'm saying? 14-0. He ain't fighting nobody. You dig what I'm saying? Meanwhile, hella motherfuckers ducking him, and understandably so. You got a young prospect that got a lot of promise, and he's high risk, low reward. You know what I'm saying? If you beat him, it's like, oh, who is he? He ain't fought nobody. He ain't did shit. But if he beat you, it's like, oh, you got your ass whooped by a prospect. You know what I'm saying? So it was high risk, low reward. And a lot of motherfuckers was ducking ERROL Spence. But, Chris Algieri was a man. You feel me? Chris Algieri coming off of a fight versus Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Went the distance with Manny Pacquiao. It had never been stopped before. Got a victory over Ruslan Provodnikov. It was a lot of people saying, man, look, Chris Algieri too skilled for ERROL Spence. He gonna outbox him. ERROL ain't nothing but a come forward fighter. He can't, he don't have the skill. He can't make adjustments. He can't, he can't use a jab. He can't box. He just a come forward fighter, that throw a lot of punches and go to the body. So ERROL went into that fight. He made a statement. The stakes was high in that fight because this was his first name-known opponent. This was the first guy that you can match up with the likes of a Manny Pacquiao. You can match up with the likes of a Ruslan Provodnikov. You can match that guy's name up with credible fighters. And ERROL, he went into that fight with the presence of mind, like, bro, I gotta make a statement. I have to make a statement. You know what I'm saying? I gotta show these motherfuckers I ain't nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? And he went in there, he made a statement. You dig what I'm saying? Brook. Brook undefeated at welterweight, only lost to Triple G at 160, a fight that he should have never took in the first place. You know, but keep in mind, before the Triple G fight, Kell Brook was trying to avoid Errol Spence. Motherfuckers had to get on Kell Brook's case to make him come back down from 160 and fight Errol Spence. And kudos to Kell Brook, because he was a man. He like, Kell Brook could have just vacated the title and said, look, I'm gonna just fight at 154. But everybody was on that motherfucker. Everybody was on Kell Brook bumper like, nigga, you gotta fight Errol Spence. Point blank period. You gotta fight him. You gotta defend your title. You know what I'm saying? Everybody saying you ducking him, you gotta defend your title. You know, and going into that fight, again, Errol Spence, you can say he was a favorite because of what motherfuckers seen Earl do to Chris Algieri, to, you know, Leonard Bundu and stuff like that. Guys that have been in the ring with credible fighters, but there was still a lot of people like saying, damn, I don't know if Earl can beat Kell. You know, Kell was a big welterweight, had never lost at 147, had dominated Sean Porter. You know, people like, bruh, I don't know if Earl can get past Kell. Then he going overseas fighting that man hometown. There was a lot of doubt with Earl going into that fight. You know, so what Earl do? He rise to the occasion. He knew that he had to make a statement. He knew that I can't just beat this guy. I have to beat him down. I have to punish him. You know what I'm saying? I have to brutally beat him down. I have to beat him into submission. I got to make a statement. I got to let motherfuckers know, like, I'm the big fish. I'm the biggest and baddest motherfucker at this division. Y'all gonna have to fear me. Y'all gonna have to respect me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one in this division. You dig what I'm saying? At that time, a lot of people had Kell Brook rated the #1 welterweight in the division, myself included. I felt like the only person at that time, you know, because Floyd was gone. You dig what I'm saying? I felt like out of all the guys, Kell Brook, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Errol Spence, the only person that I felt was going to beat Kell Brook was Errol Spence. You know, and he went out there and he dominated him. You know, very competitive fight, but Earl slowly but surely just kept chopping the wood and chipped this motherfucking ass up. Got him up out of there in the 11th round, beat him into submission. You know what I'm saying? And that was a statement victory. You know, you can see the type of energy that Earl brought to the press conference. You can see the type of energy he brought to the weigh-in. Like, bro, he wanted to make a statement. And that's exactly what he did. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Mikey Garcia fight. You dig what I'm saying? Mike Garcia. Now, people, there was many people that was saying, of course, with Mikey coming up in weight, you know, Earl should wash him. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? But the closer the fight guy, you had people talking about, oh, shit, Mikey, he too skilled for Earl. You know what I'm saying? Mikey going out box him. And I was, okay, Earl say, look, bro, I'm finna go out here and I'm going to make a statement again. Now, he did it in a different way. He just simply outboxed him and outclassed him. Masterclass, 12 zip. The man didn't lose a round. You dig what I'm saying? And, you know, the point I'm getting at is Errol Spence got a different type of heart. He got a different type of dog about him. He got a different type of killer mentality about him. You know what I'm saying? He want to show you that he better than you. You dig what I'm saying? He want to show you that I'm the dominant one in the ring. Motherfucker, you just can't fuck with me. Point blank period. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And with today's climate in the sport of boxing and in the welterweight division, with all of the current circumstances, with Errol Spence coming back on this accident, a lot of doubters. And because, you know, understandably so, people saying, okay, you know, he went through such a horrific accident. It's just a blessing for him to even be alive, walking around and talking and being with his family and just being here on earth, man, as a healthy man and, you know, cognitive and, you know, everything. You know, he's just he present, he here, he's aware. And that's a beautiful thing in and of itself, let alone being able to fight again. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, people are worried. People, now you got actual, like, genuine concern. And then you got the haters, the motherfuckers that wished that, you know, he didn't make it out of that accident, that wished that they were going to get the news or read an article say that Errol Spence retires due to the injuries from the accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was wishing and hoping that shit. And truthfully, they wishing and hoping, even though all bro medical records is good, they wishing and hoping that something is just off. Something ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? So he got a lot of doubters. And you seen what he posted on Instagram. He said, look, if you think I'm not the same, then tune in. If you think I'm not the same, buy my pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Tune in, watch the fight, come to the fight. You're going to find out. You will be disappointed if you think I'm not the same. You know what I'm saying? This brother got a different type of mindset, y'all. You feel me? And not only that, I mean, just off that alone, I feel like Errol Spence already setting out to make a statement. You seen the press conference. You know, and bruh really just locked in. He focused. He don't give a fuck about none of this bullshit, none of this extra shit that motherfuckers talking about, bruh. He focused. You know what I'm saying? And he going up against a top tier opponent in Danny Garcia, a guy who was unified at 140, a guy who was a champion at 147, a guy that to be honest with you, has one of the best resumes in the sport of boxing as a whole, not just at welterweight, but in the sport of boxing. If you look at Danny Garcia's track record, you look at the guys that he beat and the way he beat them, his resume is impeccable. You know, it's unquestionable. You can't question what Danny Garcia has done in the game. You know, so to be taking on a guy like this in this particular circumstance, that says a lot about Errol Spence. That tells you right there, like, bro, I want to show these motherfuckers something. I want to show them something. You know, and then you look at the fact that Terrence Crawford, you know, who you can call his rival, naturally, you know, they're rivals now. You got a guy that I would say, I really can't put a percentage on it because Terrence Crawford's stock has risen now after his performance versus Brook, even though going into the fight, like 80, 70, 60% at the least, 60% of the people expected Terrence Crawford to obliterate Brook. Now me, I jumped out on the limb. I got a mind of my own. I'm like, man, look, it's a lot of different elements in this fight. And it's a lot of unknowns in this fight, man. And I think Brook can pull this shit out. And I know, truthfully, there was a lot of people that was thinking like I was thinking, but they was just too pussy to say the shit. You know what I'm saying? They was just too pussy to put that shit out there. You feel me? But shit, I jumped out there, you know what I'm saying, like a motherfucking big dog, and I let that shit hang. And that's just what it was. You feel me? And I told y'all, I wanted Terrence Crawford to win that fight. I wanted him to prove me wrong and overcome this. So now I know what the fuck is going on. I know what's up. And rightfully so, Terrence Crawford's stock has risen after such a beautiful performance. Really, it was just one shot, you know what I'm saying? But it was how he set it up. It was the adjustment that he made to put himself in position to land that right hand on Brook. Even though Brook was outboxing him in the first 2 rounds, even though Brook was landing the jab and the straight right, and he put a cut over Terrence Crawford's eye, all that shit don't mean nothing because all that led up to Terrence Crawford switching to southpaw and landing the straight, the right jab. It was like a jab / right hook. You feel me? Now people say, oh, he got knocked out with a jab. Motherfucker, you got to keep in mind that Terrence Crawford is right-handed. So even though he's in southpaw, he's hitting motherfuckers with the power hand. That's his dominant hand. So it ain't just a jab. That bitch, that ain't just a jab. That shit a little different. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Terrence Crawford's stock risen, and I know Errol Spence see this shit. You know what I'm saying? I know Errol Spence heard all the people that's swearing like, oh, I don't know. People that was already saying Bud was going to whoop Errol Spence, they like, shit, oh, Bud really going to kill Errol now. You know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop. You know what I'm saying? Bud really going to kill Errol now. And then you got people that was on the fence. They like, I don't know. And that's good. That builds up the fight. That's what we need. That's great parity. We need that. You dig what I'm saying? And that's why I wanted to see Terrence Crawford in that type of situation. So now we know. Now we like, okay, we got to see this shit now. You know what I'm saying? And I know Errol Spence is peeping all this shit. Even though he knee deep in training camp right now, 3 weeks out from the fight, he see this shit, man. And I'm telling y'all, Errol Spence is coming to make a statement on December 5th. He coming to make a statement. Now, what that statement gonna look like, that's yet to be seen. You know, I can see Errol Spence approaching this fight a few different ways. I know how he gonna win this fight. I know what his approach is to win this fight. You know what I'm saying? But I can see him doing it. You know, in boxing, man, there's so many different scenarios, so many different possibilities, man. Anything can fucking happen. You know what I'm saying? But Errol Spence, of course, he can go in there and outbox Danny, you know, beat him up for 12 rounds, just make it look like a master class. He can go in there and just punish him until, you know, the accumulation of ass whooping has just gotten so high to the point to where shit, the ref got to pull Earl up off of it. You know what I'm saying? Or old Angel the Birdman. Old Angel got to throw in the towel. You dig what I'm saying? You know, Dan ain't never been stopped. Ain't never been knocked down. What more of a statement could you set or could you make other than stopping Danny Garcia? I'm not saying that Earl should go in there and just push for the KO, because when you do that, the knockout never happens. You know what I'm saying? And I know Earl's smart enough to know that, like he been doing. Like, Earl get most of his knockouts by just accumulation of ass whooping. He is a very busy, very accurate, a very accurate and precise and fundamental fighter. You dig what I'm saying? On offense, he put his shit together. He's a master at distance control. He's a master at the jab. He put his shit together so perfectly. It's like he give you a total package of just an ass whooping. And then it 9 times out of 10 is going to end up in the motherfucker calling it quits, or the ref stopping the fight, or the corner throwing in the towel. You dig what I'm saying? But what bigger statement that Errol Spence Jr. can make outside of stopping Danny Garcia? I'm just saying, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Errol Spence Jr. is going to make a statement versus Danny Garcia. That's what I truly believe. You know what I'm saying? At least I feel like that's what his energy going to be like going into this fight. Now, I don't count Danny Garcia out because, like I said, Danny Garcia done been in there with the best. And he done beat a lot of really, really, really good fighters. You know, but that's what makes this fight so intriguing. That's what makes this fight, you know, what I think is going to be Errol Spence's biggest pay-per-view thus far. You know, he did upwards of 350,000 pay-per-view buys with Mike. He did around 400,000 pay-per-view buys with Sean Porter. I think he's going to do upwards of 500,000 to 600,000 pay-per-view buys this time around. I'm thinking upwards of 600,000 because everybody want to see Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to see what it look like. Everybody anticipating a return. You dig what I'm saying? So with all of those things considered, trust and believe. Errol Spence, on his mind, he got a motherfucking statement that he trying to make. Man, y'all got to tune into this shit, man. We're going to continue to build up on this fight as we get closer to December 5th. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Are y'all on par with the shit that I'm thinking right now? Do y'all feel like Errol Spence is primed to make a statement on December 5th? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.